Kinova is a company specializing in robotics founded in 2006 to meet a need for people with reduced mobility. We have developed assistance robots designed to be used on wheelchairs. Now, Kinova has over 250 employees primarily in Canada, but also around the world. Kinova operates in 4 distinct markets. We have assistive robotics, surgical robotics, academic research robotics, and now, since 2022, industrial robotics. Before the installation of the automated vertical store, we had a fairly traditional parts store of about 2,000 square feet. This store consisted of tall shelves with plastic bins for all of our parts. Some of our parts were quite fragile, requiring specialized bins in certain cases, and we had a lot of issues with stability and tracking. A robot consists of approximately 200 unique parts. These parts are obviously quite complex and need to be controlled in a certain way and located accurately. In a more traditional store, it can lead to difficulties in finding the parts or take a long time to assemble the kits of parts needed to build the robots. As a manufacturer of surgical robots, Kinova must comply with ISO 13485 certification. We want to be able to identify, for example, years later if there is a problem with an arm, what raw material potentially contributed to this issue. When done manually, this traceability process can be very lengthy and prone to errors. The company's growth has resulted in the need to increase the quantity of parts we have to manage. Eventually, we would have run out of space for the parts. Moreover, the time required to prepare an order had become tedious. In 2018, our inventory challenges led us to seek smarter storage solutions. We had limited floor space, but plenty of vertical space. We started considering vertical carousels, but the speed was really too slow. At that time, VLMs were still relatively new. We considered 2 or 3 systems, but the ones we found with double trays did not allow us to manage inputs and outputs simultaneously. It was with the Silo 2 that we found a solution with 2 independent windows that allow flexibility to perform inputs and outputs at the same time. We have a 24-foot unit that comprises 160 trays. Currently, our unit contains approximately 1,300 different SKUs. The VLM is ideal for our fragile parts. For our electronic circuits, we avoid using anti-static plastic bins because the machine is automatically grounded. We have certain parts like optical sensors, for example, that need to remain clean throughout their storage and use in production. The positive pressure in the Silo 2 allows us to ensure the cleanliness of these fragile components. Another strength of the Silo 2 is that the trays are configurable. We can place dividers in different locations to reconfigure based on our needs. One of the advantages of the Silo 2 is that it has allowed bidirectional integration with our ERP system.
MSK has dedicated individuals in various fields of expertise to help us with the integration of the VLM and to answer our questions regarding the implementation of the machine. MSK takes care of everything, including machine maintenance. As a preventive measure, they come annually or biannually to perform the necessary maintenance on the machine to ensure its proper functioning. The machine is very reliable. We have had very few issues with it. Most of the problems have been software related, which MSK has been able to resolve remotely. They established a hotline to address our emergency needs if necessary. When we had to use it, MSK responded to the call very quickly, and they arrived within a few hours to get the machine back in working order. This meant that we minimized downtime and were able to resume production quickly.
With a VLM of only 250 square feet, approximately 10 times smaller than our previous store, we cover double the amount of product. We have 4 significant gains with the integration of the VLM into our production. The first one is really at the level of speed. We can easily compare because we have a new product, the Link 6, which is not yet in the VLM, and we can really see a big difference in terms of speed with the kitting of our old products with the VLM compared to the kitting of the Link 6. The second gain we have is in terms of inventory accuracy. Previously we had several errors, and we had to conduct annual inventories that were very long and costly. The VLM completely eliminates the need to conduct inventory on the parts controlled within it. The third important point is regarding traceability. With ISO 13485, it's controlled through the bidirectional integration between the internal WMS of the Silo 2 and our ERP. Of course, the last point is regarding floor space, a gain of 10 times compared to our previous store. The gains are so significant for Kinova that to support the company's growth, in our next expansion, we aim to add 1 or 2 more Silo 2 units.